This is Lee Street Beat, and I'm with T the Man and S Hacker. I'm Sandra, and we're here again this week to talk about things that we've been seeing on the news. You guys, there's a lot going on in this world, and you know what? We're going to talk about Laquisha Jones. I think all of us really felt bad when we saw that a 91-year-old man was assaulted. S Hacker, how did you feel when you saw that story?
Again, I think the word I like to use in situations like this is horrific. What gives you the right to do something like that to another human being, especially considering our past and our past treatment in this country? Again, what gives you that right? I don't think anyone has that right to do something like that to some individual who's done nothing to you. That's how I feel about it.
People are really being mean to immigrants, and I just can't believe that somebody would be mean to somebody who was an immigrant for no reason, and the fact that he's elderly. Man, I know you just felt horrible about it.
Yes, I feel horrible. I think everybody here feels horrible. I mean, what you had is little ratchet hood rat. It wasn't enough for her to go cuss the man out,
right,
or even push him down. But yet you're gonna take a brick, and hit him in the face with the brick, break his jaw, and then your friends, relatives, associates, whoever they may be, they come and kick and stomp him. And on top of it, you're gonna tell him that he don't belong in this country. Well, I'm gonna give you a little geography lesson, honey. Mexicans or Hispanic people and indigenous people were here way before us.
Exactly.
Now, they basically stole their land like they stole us. But that doesn't mean that they don't have a right to be here. Now, the only people that thinks they don't have a right to be here is Donald Trump. But Donald Trump will not bail your ass out on this, because you are all over Fox News in your full glory, looking like the fool that you are. So your $200,000 bond, which probably means you got to come up with $20,000, and we know you don't have the money, and nobody's going to have a GoFundMe page to get your ass out. So I don't know what you was thinking, but your child might be like the rest of them babies, into some foster care system, and you may not see it again, because you know what? They're going to put your black ass away.
She's going to prison. What she did was hideous. And you know what? The fact that this was an elderly person just makes it much more egregious. I mean, needless to say, it wouldn't matter what age the person was, but to be approached like that, to be, hit and beat down like that and treated so inhumanely. And you know what? I'm just saying, as a black woman, I just don't ever see why you would be prejudiced. I mean, we've gone through a lot. We continue to go through a lot, but there's no reason to ever be like them. It's horrible.
It really is.
Now, I was told this man didn't speak English, so Spanish was his first language. But in the cruel thing that Laquisha Jones did to him, he's actually says that he's going to give her forgiveness. And he does not resent what she's done. So he's there to forgive you for the crime that you had trespassed against them. That says a lot about a 92-year-old man whose heart is in the right place, more so than you. You're going to get a life lesson, and it isn't one that you really needed to learn, but you're going to learn it.
Exactly.
So I personally think that she might have something like mentally going on with her, because I just don't see any reason why she did what she did. It was uncalled for, and there was no reason for her to ever attack this man at all.
I wouldn't really put it on the mental. I think there are just some people out there who do, again, the word you use, heinous things. I don't think it has anything to do with, you just think that you can do it and get away with it. And for her family to join in, that says a lot.
Says a lot about the family.
Yes.
It really does. Well, guys, we got a whole lot to talk about. So, you know, we've all been immersed in the news about the 12 soccer Thai children that were in the cave along with their coach. You know, a diver lost his life. A young diver, professional, lost his life. There wasn't enough oxygen. You know, my heart goes out to that diver. But you know, besides that, you know, the blessing was that all of them got out. So how did you feel about that?
I thought it was wonderful that they all got out. And I thought it was like a testament to the prayers and people that prayed for him. This coach, maybe his intentions were good, but you know, it wasn't a well thought out plan. You going into a cave, most of the time in caves, there's usually bats or some kind of wild animal. And you going into their territory. Plus, you live in Thailand. You know there's monsoons. I know you didn't anticipate the cave to flood, but that's what happens when you go places that you don't know nothing about. You had no business being in the cave with these children. Now, they didn't want to point no fingers and blame while everybody was in there because they wanted everybody to come out, you know, with their life. But now we can point fingers, and the fingers is pointed at you. So you won't be, coaching any more soccer for any time soon. Maybe it was a mistake to go in there. I don't know how the Thai government is going to, local officials going to deal with you if it rises to criminal something. But hey, you know what? You endangered your life. You endangered these kids' life. You caused a diver to lose his life trying to save your life because for what? So you can write on a wall in the cave. Who was going to see it?
The next soccer team were the only people who were going to see it, who obviously go through this ritual. And this coach was only 25, and to have that much trust in a 25-year-old with your children, and it's amazing to me. First of all, you know, at 25, I wouldn't have wanted anybody to entrust, 12 kids or even one kid to me, because at 25, you're just not ready. And his actions proved his immaturity by taking those kids in a cave anyway. And I think it is just, it's a life lesson for him. But again, these kids will have, who knows what effect it may have on them, You and I and Sandra will never know, a situation like that where we're stuck days without anything.
Because we're never ever going into a cave. I can guarantee you that. We're not going right. That ain't going to happen.
Me neither.
Hey, listen, we don't go through dark alleys.
I don't chill at the park at night. Down, man.
And I just want to say this too, when the story first came out, I said to myself, there could never be 12 black kids. You're not going to have 12 black kids drop their shoes and their backpacks and have them walk without their shoes through no cave. Black children are not going to leave their shoes and walk without their shoes through a cave. It's just not going to happen,
Exactly.
Yeah. So, the Trump administration has asked for an extension because they are not able to fulfill the court order with them fully reuniting the babies. Tita, man, what's up with that?
I'm not surprised. There was no intent to reunite these kids with their parents. They was there to take these kids, put them in some kind of adoption, foster care, and this was going to be the great deterrent, so they'd be scared and never go away. Now, of course, Donald Trump doesn't use logic and thinking in his assessment of things, and Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions, is that when you are a parent and you are running to save your life and your child's life, this is the lesser of the two evils. But thank God there are good people on this side who don't believe what Trump is doing is right and is not going to justify it. They're not going to be enablers of it, and they're going to try to make it right. This can never get fixed. It can never get fixed because they purposely decided that they was going to break up these families. It's appalling, and you know what? It's criminal, and I'm surprised that the UN hasn't brought like war crimes against them, because that's what it is. It's a war crime. You know.
What you think? What you think, Ass?
Well, first of all, when they separated these families, they had no plan. They had no plan on how to house them, on any aspect of taking care of a child. So if you had no plan on the housing, they had no record of who they took, where they took them. It was just, oh, okay, this is a great thought. Let's put it into action. And somebody put it into action without a plan. So for them to reunite the families, period, oh, it's going to be almost impossible because when they took them apart, they kept no records. And they kept no records to me for various reasons. But for one reason, they didn't want any record of all these crazy things that they were doing with these families. All right, if you don't put it down on paper, it's just hearsay. It's just my word against your word and all that good stuff. They had no plan, so they had no inventory. They had no tracking. They had nothing. They just woke up one morning and said, hey, we're going to do this. And they did it.
I believe that they use two different systems. They track the parents in one system and they track the kids in another system. And of course, the systems don't talk to each other.
Exactly.
That was by design.
I
they
agree.
Purposely did it by design. What's that? Trump's advisor, Miller, whatever his name is. I don't know what his name.
I forgot.
He looks like something from the Nazi era. And he's happy that it's happened. If they're suffering, we're happy because liberals are suffering, so we must be doing something right. It appeals to our base. So the base is basically a racist base. Trump is a racist president, and this country is built on racism. But you know what? It's going to die on racism. That's the problem with racism.
Exactly. And then one Fox commentator, when this initially broke about the kids, right? He's like, these kids aren't from Idaho. These kids aren't from Texas. These are not our kids.
Yeah, he spoke about them as if they're not human beings. That was like,
right.
Well, I hate to say it. I wasn't surprised, but I mean, really, it just came out his mouth. And I'm sorry, you're on TV.
And did he retract it? No.
Absolutely not.
No.
So he said exactly what he felt.
Absolutely. Spoke from the heart, unfortunately.
Right.
I mean, if there is a heart, I mean, you can't be speaking from the heart. I don't know what
he's speaking from how he really feels, wherever that comes from.
Yeah. 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 I one of the stories that was really heartbreaking, one of the mothers got their baby back, and she said that they had her baby for 18 months, and she said her baby was full of lice, full of fleas, like the baby had not been bathed. I mean, just horrible story. And another story too, which is heartbreaking, is that the mother got her baby back. I don't know if they'd been separated maybe 4 months, and like the baby didn't know her no more. She's asking for the lady who took care of her at the facility. I mean, when you separate these young babies from their mothers, you change who they are. They are disconnected. They become reconnected to other people, and they become unsure in life. I mean, the ramifications of what has taken place and is continuing to take place, I mean, is just going to be resounding and forever change the mothers, the fathers, the whole family's life. They're trying to escape the worst thing that they can escape to. And what do? You just make their life like 100 times worse.
Exactly.
It's just, I can't believe this is America. Man.
You know what? The law wasn't designed for that, but you know what? This is a new era in time. They weaponized the law. With them, the Trump administration, if you have proof, they say that's not evidence. If you say you have evidence, they say that's not proof. So they want to play on these words. But if, God forbid, like Laquisha Jones is up on Fox News and look what she did. They're savages. But of course, what they're doing is just as bad. But they don't consider themselves savages as well. She violated the law. Well, some things you just can't justify, even though it's an unjust law. And we know it's an unjust law.
Exactly.
Did you hear that evangelist, and I use that word so loosely, Paula White, who does not have a degree in theology, came out and said that Jesus didn't violate the law. So, that's why, you know, he wouldn't be considered, you know, an immigrant or violating the law. And then, you know, they just, the theologians, they just went in on her and said, what are you talking about? Jesus violated the law all the time. You think, you know, turning over the table in the temple wasn't against the law? You know, I mean, just went in. I mean, there are so many false prophets.
Well, they need to go in on them. They need to go in on them pulpit pimps. She just happened to be a pulpit madam. So, you know, I'm glad they did go in on her, because you know what? Who if you're going to be a woman of God, who do you answer to? Do you answer to the Lord Almighty, or do you answer to Donald Trump? And you know what the ramifications is for having false gods before me.
Right.
That's in the Bible. That's blasphemy. And just in case you don't know, when you do blasphemy, your soul don't get to heaven. Just want to let you give a little check in case you didn't know that.
Yep. You don't even get halfway. You know, you be looking up to purgatory. You be like, no, you don't even get up there, dog.
Nope.
You know,
straight to hell. Straight to hell.
Yep.
Just like a Monopoly. You go straight to jail. And in this case, you're going straight to hell.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the court pick. Or the court fix pick.
It's the fix.
It really is.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, they're investigating, and I hope that they are able to, you know, get some type of answer about, did Kennedy have a conversation with Donald Trump about his replacement and recommend Kavanaugh be his replacement? You know, and then you look at Kavanaugh's record. I mean, here's a man who has written that, you know, he believes that the law should be that, you know, Congress, you know, can only be the one that, you know, they have to impeach the president, or otherwise he doesn't have to speak to anything while he's in office. You know, he's really, you know, he's written about these not as policy, but these are his views. And, you know, I find his nomination to be problematic. And I want the Democrats to push back. And I want Republicans to have some common sense and understand that we're not trying to roll this country back. You know what? All you want to roll back Roe versus Wade, and you know all your mistresses gonna need an abortion. Are you kidding me? They wrong for that. And they trying to stack the courts, and we gotta push back. And Republicans know that they need to push back because their constituency don't want that. We want to have freedom for women to make decisions about their health, period.
The other problematic thing with Kavanaugh, his son works for Deutsche Bank, which gave Trump his loan to build in Russia. So they already had a relationship there. I mean, the thing is, like, you know, he should have been reclusing himself on a lot of cases that Trump administration brought before the Supreme Court. And they didn't. So generally you think as a Supreme Court justice as being like beyond corruption. We see that's not true.
Right.
So, and then one thing they're kind of looking at and they're watching is that Keith Ellison has said, he said, though those are unlikely possibility, but that they may impeach some of these judges like Gorsuch. And because they felt that the way they stole Obama's pick and Mitch McConnell sat on it, that, you know, he's illegitimate for that seat. And that they But Gorsuch hasn't committed no crime. But you know what? When they say they don't have opinion and they do have an opinion, you know they have opinion. You know what? I say just impeach them and let them go to another court and figure it out.
There you go.
You know?
Exactly. Kick it back down to the lower court.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just it's a big deal, and I don't want us to sleep on it, you know. But you know what? We kind of want to end this on a good note.
Hey, I want to say one thing before we end on a good note. I remember we were talking about Sacha Baron Cohen and how he's had this new show, right?
Oh yeah.
He punked Sarah Palin.
Yes,
she was madder than if you use her terms, than a mama bear.
Right.
Got her.
She got. And not only did she walk out the interview and told me to take me to the airport. They took her to the wrong airport, so she missed the flight back to Alaska. Wow, fitting, Sarah, since you can see it from your house.
You know, I can see Russia from my house.
Yeah, you know, so I thought that was a good thing. I can't wait till the show come out because that's the episode I definitely want to watch. And
I hope that's the first episode. She should have read about him because he's been saying he's going to do a show. So.
They don't read, Sandra. They don't read. Apparently he got Dick Cheney too. So,
and if you know, these people are so hungry for publicity, and especially Sarah Palin, she was going to get got. She got on a radio show too. When she was actually running to be vice president, because she is that hungry for attention.
Thirsty.
Oh, again, she's a publicity thought.
Ooh, a publicity thought. I always wonder how you pronounce that. Now I know.
Yeah, well, her daughter's a thought.
I am here to educate.
Oh, yeah.
You educated me. Okay, the good news, Sandra, again about
in the city of South Fulton, we got black women judges. They hold all reigns, and you know what? It's just nice to see all of these women in all different areas of legislation holding it down, and it's just good news. I just love that, man.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Even though I don't want to be going before none of them.
Oh no, I don't want to go before. I do not. Oh, no. I do not.
But I guess it's kind of
any judge.
It's kind of nice to know that as a African American man going before the justice system in that town, is that racism won't be involved.
Exactly. Yeah, but it might be racism. It might be racism that you got pulled over though.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the reason that you were in court. Yeah, that might have been racist.
Yeah, that might have been racist. But you might not have to suffer. When you get into court.
And they're gonna dish out justice.
Oh yeah, that's what they said. Hey, look, we giving out.
We all know that having black mothers know that when they issue out justice, when they discipline us, it was really good corrective behavior.
That's a politically correct way of putting it.
They may say it was abuse, but if my mama didn't abuse me the way she did, I might be sitting in jail. So I love my mama for giving me that corrective behavior by wearing my behind out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got my share of whoopings, and as a kid at OLPH, Our Lady Perpetual Help, I got them in school too.
Oh yeah.
Until I moved to Evanston and went to the suburbs, they started whooping on me in school. But
I realized. I remember you in school and said, "Sandra ain't going to school today. She got suspended. she jumped on some girl."
Yeah.
I said, "Wow, Sandra." I said, "Well, good, man. Can she come out and play baseball with us?"
I got suspended. I got kicked out. I did. I got kicked out the district. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I fought a lot. Yeah.
Well, you're still fighting, girl. You're fighting for justice, and
I'm fighting for justice now.
And that's what matters.
That's a better fight.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but I still ain't gonna take no shit. Don't start none. Don't won't be none.
Don't start none.
I mean, we good and all, but
and as you got older, it looked like your patience a lot shorter.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Feel me. Oh man, listen, this is a great show, man. I'm so glad to be with you guys. We'll be back next week. So, just stay tuned. Don't forget to go to our website. S-Hacker, tell them about our website.
Our website is leestreetbeat.com, and you can hit us through email at contact us at leestreetbeat.com.
Okay. Well, until next time, guys, everybody stay safe. Pray for the little kids and pray that a miracle happens to save this country, please.
Exactly.
Okay. That's it from Lee Street Beat. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.